Alright guys. Wow, looking right up at the sun. So Jiminy Christmas. How do I fix this? Maybe if I look over there. So I didn't show you guys putting this stuff together, and it's a little disappointing, but it was such a difficult job that I just couldn't mentally handle it. It was everything I had yesterday just to stay bent over for hours fitting this stuff up, trying different combinations. You know, it's not just like a 45 into a 90, unfortunately. That's how it was set up originally, but I couldn't get a 90 back on here. Partially because the long sweep 90 would put the fitting even further downhill. And up front, I'll tell you guys, I made a pretty significant mistake. I was in such a hurry to get a fitting glued on, which I thought I knew I needed, which was just a coupler. And that ended up being a huge mistake. The coupler extended the elbow down. You'll see in a minute, the 45-degree street elbow should have been what got glued into, or should have been a regular elbow. That 45-degree elbow would have put the fitting closer and just wouldn't have created as much of a like P-trap almost. It's like a low spot. And the reason it's a low spot is the tank has dropped significantly. So like I said in the last video, the tank's down 6 to possibly 8 inches on this side. When the guy came to pump, he couldn't believe how much it had settled. I don't know whether it settled due to the water, due to the leak. I don't believe so. I believe it settled and that caused the breakage. It shouldn't settle no matter what. When they set this tank, they should have done whatever it took. If the ground was wet or whatever, they could have put a membrane in and some 3/4 inch minus with some gravel on top, whatever they needed to do to prep the hole so the tank wouldn't move. And so I blame 100% of this on site prep, on the prep for the tank. So irregardless, we'll get you guys down here and I'll kind of explain what I went through yesterday. I'll explain what I'm gonna do here in a little bit. You'll get some footage of us filling in around the pipe. I tried to go back and forth on what would be the best solution for support under the pipe, whether I'd hard point it or what I would do, and I'll kind of talk through that as well. So real quick, what I'll say is that what I want to do is support the pipe, but I want a little bit of movement. I don't want to hard point the pipe so much so that any further movement would just crack the pipe out. So basically I'm going to provide support with DG on top of the support so that it can move a little bit. I'm hoping that it's, let's call it a 1/2 inch at most. 1/4 inch would be what I'm hoping for after I get this all packed. So we'll get you guys down here. All right, so got DG all in here. So let me explain this bank here. Try to get it from a side view. So this was all mud. This whole bank was mud. And really the only thing I could do yesterday was encapsulate it in granite. So maybe 6 inches below all this is just soupy mud. And what I'm hoping, through slow capillary action, I'm hoping the water's drawn down, the water ground level's down a ways, so it should actually go down through the dirt and dry up a little bit. I was trying to get DG on top of this line here. So what I did is, so first of all, you'll see that these fittings are marked. And that helped me keep them lined up after I dry fit them. You can see that it just, all my lines keep everything pre-fitted. I installed a clean out. And the reason for the clean out is in case this happens again, they've got a place to stick pressurized water down and clean this out. So I'll get you guys down real low here. You can see Damn sunlight. You can see that there's a low spot right here. So the low spot is that elbow. And as I come up here, this right there is the lowest point. Gosh, the sun is in a terrible location. That's the lowest point in the system. And so had I glued that fitting right there, it would have gained me a 1/2 of an inch, which was important in this case. So I'm gonna set a piece of concrete under here, and I'm gonna set a piece of flat concrete under here with DG on top so that they can move a little bit here and here. But what I don't want is the whole system dropping down and breaking again. So I'm hoping the tank doesn't settle anymore. When you're working in mud, if you've ever watched Let's Dig 18, these were invaluable. Underneath those is just soupy, disgusting mud, and that allowed me to stand in a clean area without just getting covered in mud. Right here below the pipe is about 12 inches of DG. That soaked up any of the water, and it allowed me to pack it in. And so we're fairly dry down in here. We're gonna get DG underneath this pipe and get our supports in, and then we will take a couple more pictures. So all right guys, whew, bright light. A little bit more filming. I've got the little bricks in that I'm going to use to support the fittings, and it's also going to do a bit of pipe support. In fact, I got to bump this one over. So this is what I'm using to support the pipes. You can see there's a little clearance underneath. There's another one right over here. Same setup, got clearance under it. I rammed around it. You can see how soupy this dirt is, so watch my foot. That's why the boards are so important. But anyways, packed in under here. Gonna get this filled in and rammed down a little bit better. We'll get the tracer wire, or not tracer wire, it should have a tracer wire. We're gonna get the marking ribbon in the ditch, get this turned into a ditch, get some backfill in here, get it covered back up. I'll probably show you guys one more little clip. Alright guys, last little bit here. I'm going to show the pipe. I packed in around it, but I haven't put the tape in yet. So you can see I've got this particle board that was rotten that I am using to separate the dirt from the dirt from the granite. I'm going to do the same thing along here. And we're just about to cover up. I'm going to get granite over the pipe, get the tape down, and we'll get this covered up. All right guys, last bit here. So what I've made is a little ditch out of boards so we can separate the two materials. And I've got my tape in. I'll show you guys that real quick. So I've got my tape tied over there, and it runs over the top of the pipe, and then I've got it going up on the lid. And that's so if they uncover the lid first, they can see the tape. It's about 6 inches above the pipe, 4 to 6 inches, which is about how long the teeth are. So hopefully they hit the tape before they hit the pipe. This pretty much wraps it up. We're gonna fill this up and start filling the hole in with the tractor. Hope this helps you guys. What an ordeal. Talk to you later.